Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3 of the From the Island series. Now in this episode we are moving forward with our flips, and we've got a bit more cash to where we can start moving into our items. Now as you can see on my trade history, we are moving into some clue scroll items. Now with free to play, it's very limited on the choice of clue scroll items we have, but in this episode we're going to move into the blue skirts in trimmed and gold versions, and the monk's robes in the trimmed and gold versions as well. So to start with, we are going to go with the monk's trimmed first. Looking at that, we've got a 3k margin on flips. I've tested the margin and also managed to pull off one at the same time. Here we did try and put an offer in for 9.2k. Now this was a low ball, and due to clue scroll items being so low volume and sometimes low volume on the buy, we can sometimes pull that off, but it weren't working. So here I will just test the price again, and we'll see where we are, because clue scroll items, just due to how low volatility and low volume they can be, the margins change a lot. But normally once you've dialed in on a certain item and you've kept on flipping it, you will know the margins, and you can also push your lower and buy-in margins. So we're going to go for a monk's robe trimmed skirt, and along with the wizard and monk's robe skirts as well, just so we can bring in some more GP to increase on the treasure items flips. So due to how well they did work in the last episode, we will be keeping with the monk's robe and blue skirts throughout this episode. So basically what my plan is to have the one big item in the clue scroll items flipping on one side, and while being able to utilise the other 2 GE slot. The blue skirts and the monk's robe don't take a lot of GP to have buying in, but can still bring in a couple of K at a time per flip during that. So what we make in the extra money from the skirts and the robes, we'll put into more treasure items, which hopefully will make us more GP in the long run. So we've managed to buy a decent amount of the tops for the skirts. So what we're going to do is just check where they are selling, because sometimes they can be a bit lower than what we want to sell them for, so we can always just hold on to them. But looking at this, they are selling for a decent price, so we'll put them back in. They do take a little while to sell, especially the blue skirts, so we'll come back and see how we get on. The monk's robe do move a bit quicker because I think there is a bit more demand, but they'll still bring in a couple of K per flip, which is decent. Right, so just coming back, the monk's robe skirt has bought. I've missed the collecting of it, but there it is on the history. So we bought it for about 15k, and we're going to put it in for 17.5, which will bring in a 2.5k profit. The monk's robes have all sold, and while I do have these wizard hats, I will get rid of them just to get some more GP free for some more robes. So the blue wizard hats weren't selling. I give them an hour or two. So what we're going to do is have a quick look at other clue scroll items, because sometimes you can find a better deal than just your first try. But the other parts of monk's robe, which is trimmed in G, are a lot more expensive than the robe bottom, which we're doing now. So while we're selling one, we're going to put an offer in to buy for another one and see how well they do. Again, just waiting for the rest of these skirts to sell, and then we'll see where we go from there. So that monk's robe bought, and as you can see from the GE offer, both have been able to sell. So from that flip, we've probably made about 5-6k, which is great. It will get us halfway to buying another one, and all we'll do again is go in for the same price which we bought for the previous 2 and see how they sell. We've moved into monk's robe's tops because they were buying at 200 GP, which is quite low for them. Normally they do sell towards the upper end of 200, maybe in the 300. So with the money we've actually made from the flips from the trimmed bottoms, we are going to put them into more monk's robe tops, just because else the GP will just be sitting there, so we can be using them at the same time. So we'll put that offer in, and we'll see how that goes. So the 2 monk's robe tees have bought, and we're going to put them back in for roughly the same price again, looking towards a 2.5k flip per robe. So that's going okay. They are buying quite quickly, sort of 2-3 hours. We've managed to sell all the blue skirts, which were decent. I do like to try pink skirts just in case, because sometimes they can be a bit bigger margin depending on when they sell, although I do find that blue skirts do trade a bit easier and quicker. The robe tops for the monks have also been buying decently as well. They buy slowly, but they do sell a lot quicker than what we buy. So we're going to go in big with a 150 buy limit of the pink skirts, and we'll see where we go for that. That should be about 5.5k flip if we buy them all. So we'll see how we get on with that, and we'll leave the robe tops to keep buying. Right, so the robes have bought and the robe tees have sold, and as you saw, we are actually at a 43k stack for items, which is great. We really are starting to move quicker. So we've sold the tee bottoms, and all we're going to do again is just put in for the same sort of margin. The first one buys quite quickly with some GP back, and due to this, the second one also buys quite soon as well. So hopefully this can be a nice quick flip. Hopefully we'll be able to push these margins at some point, but for now on we'll just stick with the 2.5k margin and go in for 17k. Right, so it has been a little while. So as you can see by my trade messages at the bottom, we have changed it up a bit. The monk's robes was pretty much a bit stale. It was only the 2.5k margin. But what we did manage to find was that the blue skirts tee did trade for a 7k margin at the time. So here we go, we've bought 2 and I'm going to put the offer in to try 2 more. The Zamorak robe tops were selling very well for a point. That was making a couple of 100 GP per top profit, and as always the monk's robe tops do perform so well. So we're just going to do a quick price check on the monk's robe top and see what sort of margin we can get on that, and we've got 41 of them to put in. So that should be a decent couple of k as well, and we've also got a 30k cash stack of spare cash as well, which we will look to put in to the monk's robe tee bottoms. So it's always good to keep an eye on what things are selling for, so I'll show you here a rough amount of items that I go through checking for margins per day. Stuff changes all the time and items can always spike in price, and that's why I always like to check different and varied clue items. So that's the monk's robes in, along with blue skirt tee. So here I am just checking the margin again for the monk's robe tee. Now it is pretty solid with where it stays in between. So it's normally a 15k buy and a 17 to high 17k sell. But this can change, so I do like to keep seeing whereabouts I am with my margins. So here we are just trying it again, and we'll get a margin of a 15k buy and a 17.9k sell, which is nearly a 3k margin, so it has extended. Sometimes you can sell yourself short if you don't check on that. But before we put an offer in for that monk's robe, I just wanted to check Zamorak monk bottoms, because for the amount of GP I will spend on the monk's robe, sometimes the Zamorak bottoms can outperform them. They do sell very well, and for a free to play item at 2.5k they are quite a decent flip. So it turned out that we did make more money through this. So what we're going to do, we're going to put an offer in for that, and that will be the end of our episode. So after that offer is put in, you will see that we now have a total value of roughly 75k, which for a couple of episodes is massive, making it from pretty much what was 1k. So the next episode we're going to keep going with the same sort of thing. We're going to move into more clue scroll items while still maintaining them 1 to 2 solid flips, and we'll see what we can get from. So if you did like the episode, please like and subscribe, and any feedback please leave in the comments and I will reply. And yep, we'll see you in the next one.